I just did one of those what's in my purse videos, and okay, the real truth is I did that video because I knew I probably needed to clean out my purse, and I felt like that was a good opportunity to do it. So now my purse is cleaned out. But I thought, okay, while I'm doing that, I'll do a what's in my studio video, or what's on my craft table video. You know, what am I working on right now? The bits and the pieces. And if you're watching, you can do one too. Do a video showing all of your unfinished projects that you've got laying on your craft table, or your rough ideas. And oh, that reminds me, I left a stack of rough ideas in the other room. No, here they are. I've got them. Oh, look at me. I'm more organized than I knew. Okay, show me what you're doing. So yeah, we'll do a tag thing. Consider yourself tagged if you watch this or whatever. I don't know how that works. So anyway, here's some unfinished projects and rough ideas that I have going on right now. Okay, this is one of those Wonder Under collage covers that I made a few videos back, and I was going to make a journal out of it, and I wanted to use some scrapbook paper from a particular paper pad that I have, but I don't, you know, it's not really one of my favorites, so I thought I would make a junk journal out of it, combining the scrapbook paper with some other scrap paper. So that's what this is going to be, and then see, I've got some parts and pieces waiting to be put in here somehow, and then I'll figure out how I'm going to bind it, because no, I've got them all full. Yeah, I may have to have more than one signature. So anyway, that is one unfinished project that I don't really work on now and then. I'll just more or less stare at it, and occasionally I glue something else into it. Do you ever make something and you get to the end and you look at it and you go, well, what in the heck is that? That's where I am with this. Excuse me. I made it a few days ago, and I made it just because I had some scraps of muslin laying around, and I was too lazy to put them back in the box where they go. So I just cut them up and made like a mini book or whatever. But it's not really a mini book because it's made out of fabric, and then I stuck some scraps of lace trim on it. See, they open like this. It does like that, and then this was two, but it's glued together, and then here's the next page or signature. So that's the thing here. I had no plan for this. I don't know what to put in it. I don't know why I made it. My daughter suggested that I like pin some little cameos or something in there, which I think would be great if I actually had cameos, but I don't. I have rhinestone brooches, but I mean the thing wouldn't even close, although I don't know, that might look kind of cool. I don't know. I don't know what to do with this, but I have it, and someday I'm going to need it, and I'm going to go, oh, I'm so glad I made that. But anyway, here it is. And it was just kind of a play around and see what happens thing. You know, I had I folded pieces of muslin. I made signatures out of it. For each signature, it's got a safety pin. See, those are safety pins. Now, if you can see, I think there's 7 of them. And I just ran a safety pin through the binding. And I saw that just recently. Somebody did a safety pin binding. Who was it? Marion Smith, maybe? Check Marion Smith's videos. I think she did it, and hers was in a book, and it had paper pages, and she was running the safety pins through there, and I thought, oh my gosh, what a cool idea for a binding. But I was reluctant to do it with paper because, you know, you just barely tug, and you're going to pull that paper right off the pen. That pen will pull right through unless you do some kind of reinforcement on the folded edge of the paper. So I may do that. My edges will have to be reinforced because I don't want that pin pulling through. But I thought, okay, fabric. It's not going to pull through on fabric. So I just got some big safety pins out and pinned up my signatures, and you can see I ran a piece of ribbon through it, glued it down. This is fabric. The stripe is a fabric that's glued onto a piece of painted paper and then just trim glued on. And then I just took these safety pins and ran it through the cover and made sure to catch the holes at the top and bottom of the safety pins. Yeah, in the video I saw, she used those 7 Gypsies safety pins that don't have this part at the bottom, the little loop. You know, they're just a plain thing, and I can see, you know, that they would definitely work better. They'd make a smoother binding, but you can use these. You know, it's a little trickier. It's not quite as smooth and even because, you know, you've got a little notch there. But you can use plain safety pins, and I had a buttload of them, so I made a safety pin bound book for no reason. Well, actually, I'm sure there's a reason, and someday I'm going to need this book. I'm going to wake up and go, oh, I wish I had a fabric book with muslin pages and a safety pin binding, and then I'm going to remember this book, and then I'm going to think, oh, thank God for me, because I'm that brilliant. I don't know what I'm going to do with that thing, but there it is. Okay, this next thing's embarrassing. No, let me do one more thing, then I'll do the embarrassing thing last. I got to get coffee. Hang on. I have a journal page due for I'm in this journal page swap thing. Link in the description if I remember. And the theme for July is No. The theme for July is something about steampunk. That's all I can remember right now. Not Victorian steampunk. Romantic? Is that it? I think it's romantic steampunk is the theme. And sometimes themed pages are really not easy. They are quite challenging. So, you know, if you need a challenge for your art journal, join a swap where you have monthly themes, because it really forces you to kind of think outside the box and outside your comfort zone or your normal realm of things you usually do. And what I usually start with on any type of project where I have a theme that I need to work within, I start with images. That's just where I go first. Just naturally for me. I don't know. I don't know if it's the graphic designer in me. Just really not sure. But that's where I start. And Google Images is just a great place to start. I just nab whatever kind of free images I can find that appeal to me and fit within the theme that I'm trying to work with. So I was looking for some steampunk images. There's bazillions of them out there, but I grabbed the ones that caught my eye. This is a background with some pieces, clock pieces and some metal doodads and things. Now, just because I printed these out doesn't mean that I'm actually going to use them. They may end up being nothing more than just inspiration for, you know, a starting point, a kickoff point. I don't know. But this is where I start. This helps me. I also found this, which I love. And it is an old printer's tray filled up with little doodads, you know, like a shadow box, but it's all of these old kind of Victorian doodad thingies. And I thought that I might do a page and make the page be a flat, you know, shadow box, where I could draw off a grid and make it into a shadow box or a printer's tray. And then I could put images of little Victorian thingies in the little compartments, or even some real stuff, because I have a bunch of watch parts and little things like that. So that might be cool. I might go with that. I'm not sure, but that was I got that idea from this picture. And then I like this girl because she has, you know, she's definitely got the steampunk thing going on, but she's not all like trashy and slutty like a lot of them are. You know, she's pretty, but She's not indecent. So, yeah, I liked her. Yay for her. Then I like this. It's, I don't know how well you can see because it's kind of small, but it's got the guy in the weird steampunk, you know, balloon arc thing. And he's handing a flower to the girl who's being all, you know, she's got her inner Juliet going on here. And so there they are. It's like a steampunk Romeo and Juliet. So there's that inspiration piece. And this I just love. It's an eyeball, and I really love eyeballs. I don't know if I've talked about this before, but I have a lot of eyeballs. You know, I cut eyes out of magazines, and I like the eye shape. I draw a lot of them. In fact, my it's not really my logo, but my standard excuse me, little icon that I use on different websites, you know, my banner on my Flickr page, they're of this eyeball that I drew and colored in at one time that I love. I think it's my favorite thing I've ever done. So I like eyes. Even this funky, weird steampunk eyeball, I really, really like. I don't know what to do with it. I could just do a whole page of eyeballs. That would be easy, really. So I don't know, but I have that. So, if you have any brilliant ideas for a journal page with a romantic steampunk theme, feel free to chime in and give me some suggestions. Even like a quote, because I always like to put a quote in these journal pages, and yeah, I got nothing for this, so I don't know. And I don't have long to figure it out either, because this is due the end of this month, so I got to get tooling on that. Okay, this last thing is embarrassing for me. I have to confess that I have a problem, and my problem is greeting cards. I am unable to throw away a greeting card, or repurpose it, reuse it, whatever. For some reason, I look at it and I'm like, okay, this person went out and they picked out this card. They chose it for me or for anyone in my family. They wrote in it, they sent it to me or gave it to me. Now, how can I just trash that? It just doesn't seem right. But because of that little issue that I have a suitcase full of greeting cards. I kid you not. I have one of those old brown Samsonite suitcases full of greeting cards. So yesterday I went through them very quickly, because there's a bunch of them, and tried not to think about it too much, but just kind of did a, keep toss, keep toss, keep toss, that kind of thing. And in the end, I ended up with about 200 cards that I felt I could probably let go of, and at least twice that many that I felt I still needed to keep. So they went back into the box. I'll have to redo them again later. But for now, I have some to start with. This is not 200 cards. This is what is left of the 200 after I put some books together that I'm going to make out of them. But I'll show you, I'll just tell you what I did. I got all the cards that I felt that I could get rid of, and the way that I determined I could get rid of them is if I can't remember who the person was that they're from. And that's so awful. But I do have some in there that are from so long ago, I got no clue who that person is. So, if that person's you, I'm really sorry. So those I felt like I could probably repurpose. And then some of these are from like my husband and my mother and my in-laws, and they're special cards, but I've got a lot of them. And I don't need to keep every single birthday card that my mom gives me. Even though each one is special, I don't need to keep them all. I mean, really, what am I going to do with them? I'm going to give them to Taylor. She's going to throw them away, So I tried to just pull out ones you know, all the ones that are from my mom, I just kept maybe 3 or 4 special ones. And then the rest, you know, set them aside. And I did that with all of them. That was how I determined what could be repurposed. You know, not that they're any less special than the other ones. I just had so many from the same person that I just picked a few special ones to keep. And, you know, like the ones when Taylor was, you know, 4 or 5 and just got her little kindergarten handwriting on it. I had to keep all those. I couldn't get rid of any of those. Not yet, anyway. And there's a lot of them, but I just couldn't. I had to keep them all. And ones from great-grandparents, you know, who've passed on, I had a real hard time with those, too. I couldn't part with those yet. Even though there's a bunch of them, you know, I've got that box that I will go through again later with fresh eyes and try to pare it down even more and just, you know, save a few special ones, not every single one. So that was the first step. Next step, I just kind of laid them all out on the bed and I tried to arrange them by size because I didn't know what else to do with them. So I just kind of, yeah, did them big to small, arranged by size. I pulled out anything that was die cut like these. Oh, am I upside down? Well, whatever. The die cut ones I set aside into a special stack of their own. Because I had a bunch of, you know, shaped like ducks and kitties and owls and things for my daughter. And then just the square ones I arranged by size. Then what I did, and I had a few envelopes too, and I don't know why I kept these envelopes, but I've got them, so I'm going to reuse them. So after I got all 200 whatever greeting cards arranged by size, I pulled out the largest ones, the biggest ones of the bunch, and designated those to be book covers. So I'm going to make books out of them. And so far, I've got enough cards to do 10 books. I'm not going to do all 10 of these at once because I'll probably want to gouge my eyes out after the first 2 or 3. But I'm going to keep them in a box in my art room to work on them now and then, you know, as I don't have anything else to do or feel inspired, then I'll do it. Because I can probably make 3 or 4 more sets of 10 out of the cards I've got. That it's that bad. But I'm working on it. So this was a card from Jason at one time for something, and which was very special, but I've got 150 cards from Jason for something at some time. So I pulled out the special ones, which are really the ones where, you know, he wrote more than "I love you, Jason." You know, where he wrote something special, and those I kept. And these other ones, I determined they could be part of these books that I'm going to make, and I really don't know what they're going to look like yet, but this is where I started. Biggest cards were the cover of the book, and then I just started filling them up with other cards for the signatures or whatever. So let me just show you one. There's 15 cards inside each cover, and I don't know that this will be the cover. That's just kind of where I'm at right now. But I stuck an envelope into each one, and so each one has an envelope in it, and then each one has 15 cards, and I divided it up into 3 signatures of 5 cards. So, you know, some of them are trifold. I just made sure that they all opened left to right, because, you know, some open up down, and I set those aside. I'll have to figure something else out for those. But that was my criteria. They open left to right, and then just a variety of big, small, you know, a die cut card in each one, or a shaped card, whatever. And that's what I did through all of these. So I've got these 10 books, each with 3 signatures for a total of 15 pages. And I'm not really sure where to go from here. I know that, you know, what's her name? Jenniebellie has some really good tutorials on greeting card books. I might do 1 or 2 of her ideas, Or I might do something else. I don't know. They're really a great size for a journal. I can see I will probably be painting over most, if not all of them. I need to mix up another batch of gesso. I can see that already. But that is kind of the big thing that is on my craft table today, or this week, or this month. So yeah, if you have some brilliant ideas for these, let me know, especially if it's something I haven't seen before, because I get real excited about that. Otherwise, I'm just going to start gessoing, and then I will see what happens. And then later, I will go through the rest of that suitcase. I may even show you the suitcase. That would be, you know, that would make me feel very vulnerable, as if this doesn't. But yeah, I really do need to clear those out. And then after I get these cleared out, I'll have to tackle pictures. Okay, if I keep greeting cards compulsively like this, you can imagine what I do with pictures. I have 4 suitcases full of pictures and 4 dresser drawers. And I need to get a handle on that, because it's not healthy. And it's not necessary either, because, you know, I don't need 75 pictures of Taylor shoving cake into her face on her first birthday. I need a couple. Yes, I do. I don't need 75, really. So I got to figure that out. Okay. That's it. That's all I have for today. Show me what's on your craft table.